Hey, good morning. How are you this morning?
Good morning to you, sir.
It's a throwback Thursday.
It's old school. It's back to the AM
back
days.
to the AM days, straight on
Back
radio.
when we were in my mom's basement. Didn't have any money. Couldn't do
Didn't
this
have any
deal.
basement.
Didn't have all this great equipment.
No.
What is that old
And
deal
realized
about?
today we're tied to the internet. Back in the day when transmission towers and transmitters and satellites would get
Microwaves.
you up on the air. Not
What is that
any
old
longer.
deal? For lack of a nail, the shoe was lost. For lack of a shoe, the horse was lost. For lack of a horse, the rider was lost. For lack of a rider, the war was lost. Every little detail matters.
It all matters.
Internet matters. Optimum, by the way, this is a free public service announcement, suddenly kills us. Optimum, change the name, still the same turd. You can put powdered sugar on dog poop. It still ain't going to taste like a donut.
Ain't no donut.
So I'm not happy just because they got cool-looking new vans to try to combat the fiber optic that's coming. I cannot wait. I have to admit, if it says AT&T on it, I'm inclined to think it's going to be pretty good. Even though
it's probably not. There's probably no truth to that
Same thing.
anymore. Yeah. Although when you only had eight or Ma Bell, right? The bells.
right.
You didn't have a choice but to be satisfied with the service because that's all you had.
So was that? No humor. Was that Alexander Graham Bell? Is that who invented the telephone?
Yes, he invented the telephone.
So-
I don't believe that was his. I think they just used his name for the company. I don't think he had any. I'm not sure he was a shareholder.
Well, remember they got broken up as a monopoly,
By Reagan.
right? Which I guess made sense. I mean, anything Ronald did, we tended to believe in. But did it make sense? Was it? Why
Well,
hasn't
and what-
Microsoft been broken up?
And what did it do? It turned it into like a billion bells, right? There was
Right.
Southwestern Bell and Northeastern Bell, and
then it just became AT&T, right?
yeah.
I don't get it.
And then along came.
And then came Maud. Remember Maud? She was such a skanky old broad.
Then she did the same bit on Golden Girls.
We don't have internet. There's Bill Posey.
No,
How are
we're
you,
straight
sir?
on Magic this morning.
Bill Posey was sad, but his show was great as always on Magic 95.9. And we're thrilled to be live on the mothership. Did you get us up and running on the? Or can you actually hear us on the radio? Are we on the radio?
I don't know. We were trying to get it all over the internet.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's
As
Dale
long-
Zuck in the background.
Yeah,
giving us the
we've got the backup. We're on
Is it-
Magic 95.9, the mothership.
technician, landlord, government watchdog, guru of all things. We like Dale.
Guru of all things, guru.
There you go.
Makes
We're
him
going to have a
guru
great
guru.
later, especially since B. Small can't chime in. A great Astros update. The
In the meantime,
superlatives
yeah.
are just ridiculous.
In the meantime, we'll take a look at the at Wade and Carter weather, brought to you by the fine folks at AT Deerland Hay Feed and Ranch Services. Stop
They
on
need
by.
their own song for that, you know.
They really do, and maybe we can do
You
a
don't
jingle.
bring me showers. You hardly rain anymore. 77 degrees under mostly clear
Yeah,
skies.
whatever. Looks a little cloudy to me.
The only thing in the air is the smoke from grass fires. Heading to a high today of 101. That's a lie.
Yeah, hotter than
It'll be
that,
105.
probably.
I was driving home yesterday. It was 103.
Yep.
Had to go to Austin and back.
How was that trip?
It was good. I always
How
make
are,
sure
the
about what I
how are the
ate.
homeless in Austin?
No, they were. I wasn't in Austin proper. I was on the north side. I ate some pho.
Lucky you.
You ever have any pho?
I'm not a big pho fan.
Pho? I don't know. It's pho.
Do re mi fa.
Yeah.
So lati do.
You love that guy that had the restaurant, and I don't remember where it was, but it said he was the pho
King.
king.
Yeah, absolutely.
So great. Man, the city made him change his sign.
Ah,
I think that's
cities.
but again, it reinforces that you can do anything you want to the Asians. You can do anything you want to the Asians. Nobody cares.
No, they took away his right to free speech.
That's
apparently.
right. That's right. And just because he pronounced a Vietnamese word properly next to an English word properly, and dirty minds,
and he might have been the king of pho.
he might have been.
So he would have been the king.
Right. But the next thing you know, they said, oh, that sounds too much like the city elders went, you can't say that.
But keep saying it till we outlaw it.
They have the
'cause
dirty
it makes
minds.
us snicker.
Dirty minds ruined it for a Vietnamese guy. His store's probably immensely popular now. I like the T-shirts. I mean, there's got to be a T-shirt. For those of you that haven't had pho,
Yeah, we're not on the website either for those. It's just
no, I put it on Facebook for you. I put it on. Ash is trying to help us. It's a mixture. They take beef bone, and it still has marrow, and they boil it in this overnight in this cauldron with these bags of spices, ginger, and I'm trying to think what the other, some very pungent and recognizable spices. And then you add meat to
turmeric.
it. Yeah, arsenic, fentanyl. Anyway, they add things to it. And it's just, and then you serve it over rice noodles. It's a very momentarily filling food. It's like most Asian foods. You eat them and 20 minutes later you're like, I'm hungry. But as far as being really good and healthy, it is, because I'm neck deep in my Para Vida challenge. Last night, I don't know what you had. I had like a Greek bowl. And I figured it out. I did. I figured it out. You had the Greek dressing that you have on like a gyro, you know, these lamb.
Euro?
Yeah.
You don't print the G's kind of sound.
Is it?
Yeah.
You would know. You're Canadian. The meat,
Greek.
it comes with the. Why did the Greek kid leave his house? He's tired of the way he was being reared. They took salad, a lot of spinach, filler. They took quinoa, filler, low carb, low fat, you know. So it gives you some heartiness to the meal. And then there was turkey that was seasoned wonderfully.
Like Greek.
Yes.
With Greek seasonings.
And then the dill and cucumber dressing with the homemade.
Tzatziki sauce type inspired.
Of course, you would know these things.
I would.
Because you, in another life, not only were you KGB, you were stationed as a chef.
In Greece.
Right. Like a Prozhbishkin. What's this guy's name? Prigozhin.
Prigozhin.
Yeah. What did Putin say when he shot down his plane? He was a nice man. He made some poor choices. There you have it.
Yeah, nice guy.
He was a nice guy. We were great friends. He chose.
Yep. But you know what? You know what they say about nice guys, right? Putin was just living that out. Nice guys finish last.
That's exactly right. But anyway, my meal was fantastic. What did you have last night for dinner?
Chicken salad.
The little tub of chicken.
Had some of that last
pita
night.
chips.
Crackers. Puglia crackers.
Puglia.
Not sure
You say that in Spanish,
right.
sounds like a laxative. Puga.
So
Puga crackers.
yeah, everything I've had from there is very good.
Oh,
so
the
far.
food's phenomenal. I recommend you get by Para Vida, just a pot of Vida for life, people. Get by there just for lunch.
Take it out.
Pork-
Take it to work. Take it
porkita.
to home.
Yeah, you can eat
Stay in
there.
a microwave. You could eat there too. Yeah.
It's fantastic. Right there.
Great
It's
food.
right there on the airline, right down from Gray Barn Mercantile. Go by and see Cheryl when you're walking it off. Cheryl's on the same program. We're going to see what happens.
She
over
sold
the
the
next couple
chairs,
weeks.
by the way.
Really?
Yep. A nice set of chairs gone. Somebody else has a nice set now.
There you go. Cheryl's still got a nice set.
Just no longer has a nice set of chairs.
Atzenoffer and Atzenoffer.com since 1926. Atzenoffer is Victoria's dealership. I don't know why we're doing ads. It's only like 7:05 in the morning.
I don't know why either.
I just felt like telling you.
Just felt
I drove by Atzenoffer this morning. They've got a beautiful array, display, inventory of pickups. Chevy trucks looking great on the
About
lot this
time.
morning. Yeah.
took a while to get a nice array.
Chip shortage.
Yeah. Took a while to get a nice array of pickups, but they've got them at an offer, and you can peruse their. They do a very good job of keeping their internet inventory up
Yeah,
to
they have
the minute.
They have an internet manager.
Yeah.
I
So
tell
do a
you,
lot of dealers, and a lot of dealers can't
Still
keep up
can't
with
do
that
it.
stuff. No.
True story. It does befuddle me. I did say that. Did I mention that Optimum sucks?
Yep.
That
You did.
the internet
Twice now.
doesn't work. We can't get vehicles because of chip shortages. But what the heck? Let's put a man back on the moon, and then we're going to go on to Mars. Because it just makes perfect sense.
Well, if you listen to the pundits and the lefts, here's what makes no sense in this race to Mars, really. They should be the left should be completely against going to Mars. Because humans are responsible for the destruction of the Earth.
Right. So why go pollute
So what's going to
Mars?
happen if we go to Mars?
And it takes fossil fuel to get there. You can't get there in a Tesla.
No. We're going to destroy Mars because humans are the scourge of the Earth, so we might as well be the scourge of Mars, too.
Can you imagine the footprint? What do they call it? The what footprint? Carbon footprint of a rocket. Very interesting.
They don't ever mention that because it doesn't
And
matter.
why isn't it a global effort? Why does it have to be just the U.S. is in a space race against it? Why?
Well, because we
wouldn't-
don't trust the Russians and the Chinese who are also trying to get there.
There's the problem.
You think somewhere along the way somebody's done some... They just haven't told us about the coring that they're doing on Mars to see what's there and why all of a sudden we need to get to Mars.
I can see
There's
a
got to
chance.
be something on Mars. That Mars rover that they sent out there, that was a distraction to what they're actually doing on the other side of Mars.
Could be. It really could be.
I mean, because what's the point, seriously? It's not like we're going to use Mars as a launching pad to go to Jupiter or Saturn or out of here.
I agree.
We could just use Globe Life Ballpark as a launching pad.
Tell you what, this is a great time to segue into the Astros update.
where I was going.
Astros
Glad you're
brought to you
reading
by
me.
First State Bank of Louise, the friendliest bank anywhere. In fact, the First State Bank of Louise is almost as friendly as Globe Life Park has been to the Astros. The Astros over the last 7 games have averaged 15 hits a night.
And now all of a sudden the conspiracy theorists are back out. Have you noticed that?
What, is it the bats?
Yeah, they've got to be cheating.
They've got to be cheating.
They got to be cheating.
But if they're cheating, there's
road.
conspirators at all the road destinations because they went to Boston and swept Boston. They went home and got swept by the Yankees. Then they go to Texas and basically eliminate Texas from the race.
I'm on it. You keep going. You're doing good here.
No, I'm having to tell Small.
That's what I'm on it. I told you I'm on it.
Okay.
Keep doing what you're doing.
I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that you'll maybe never see again 3 games of absolute offensive domination.
They made Scherzer look like
Like
a double-A call-up.
JB France, yes. Max Scherzer goes in. The Astros run the future Hall of Famer out of the game in the 2nd inning. You had 5 home runs in the game.
Yesterday's game.
One, Jose Abreu hits a grand slam. Later, hits a 3-run shot. So one dude's got 7 ribbies in a game with 2 home runs. After that, you just retire. That's when you go home.
They win 12-3. They win 14-1. They win 13-6 in the 3-game series.
Add up some of that stuff. Add up some of the hits.
That's what
Uncle
I'm trying
Mike,
to do.
Michael Brantley hits a home run. Yordan Alvarez, no big deal for Yordan to hit a home run. Just hits a line drive, 442 feet. Had a launch angle of 19 degrees. What we saw in the home run derby, the thing that I picked up from watching these guys hit home runs, is you pretty much need a launch angle of 20 degrees or more, but not more than like 30. And you need an exit velocity of a little over 100 miles an hour. If you launch at 20 degrees and you're going over 100 miles an hour, it'll carry out of most ballparks. Alvarez hit 120 at 19 degrees. It was a line drive. The center fielder kind of ducked as it went over his head and went into the bullpen. And later in the game, just for grins, Chaz McCormick adds another bomb, and the Astros just made the 3rd game a laugher. The Rangers had been foaming at the mouth, waiting for this series at home, pivotal series in the season, to put the Astros in their rearview mirror.
You know what's interesting with last night's game and the way it culminated with 5 more home runs on top of the 6 they hit the night before and the 5 they hit in the first game of the series. 16 home runs in the 3-game series.
That's
a team record.
unbelievable.
The previous team record was 13 in a 3-game series, and they almost all happen on the same dates. This was like 3 days earlier, 4th, 5th, 6th. But I think all the other previous 3 times they've hit 13 in a 3-game series all came on like September 9th to 11th. Weird. Are they feasting? I mean, and you would think, are they feasting on September call-ups? Maybe in other years, but not last night. That was Max Scherzer.
Scherzer's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. 3-time Cy Young Award winner.
It's the first time they'd ever had like 5 Cy Young awards between them face each other. I mean, they're both first ballot Hall of Famers.
Absolutely.
They're
A
number
year
1
apart.
and number 2 in active wins. I mean, in wins among active players. Verlander at number 1, 254 wins. Scherzer like 213. 1 and 2 in all of major leagues.
255 and 213 now.
Yeah. I think I added one. I think it was 253 going
Okay,
in.
well, whatever. Dominating performance. I thought it might be a high-scoring affair. Everybody was expecting a 2-1 type of 3-2
You had
game.
said 7-6,
Yeah,
5-4.
that's kinda where I thought,
I
but-
thought 2-1.
I didn't think 14-1 or whatever the hell
But
it
let me
was.
tell you, give you 2 statements about the Rangers.
12-3.
That Simeon kid that they've got,
It's pretty good.
he's good. He's a baseball player. And I got the feeling that he was getting frustrated last night. He had a home run. He led off the game. First pitch, Verlander gave up his solo home run. And the announcer said, and you hear this all the time, I'm curious as to your thoughts.
Well, I felt bad for Adolis Garcia, too. The right fielder for the Rangers.
Yeah,
who
hurt his knee.
leads the American League in RBIs.
Great player.
I think he leads the American League in home runs since the All-Star break.
I think you're
34
exactly
home
right.
runs, 100 RBIs, and he goes up for a Kyle Tucker. Whose fly ball was it he was chasing?
Uncle Mike's.
Yeah, it was Brantley's home run. And he jumps at the fence, and he came down weird and must have tweaked a knee or something, but he
was beating the ground like he knew he was hurt.
Yeah, that's a
But
smart thing to do with your throwing hand. Punch the ground.
the announcer pointed out about Verlander last night. He said, one thing about JV, he typically only gives up solo home runs. Okay, is that a mathematical chance, or does that mean that he bears down more when there's runners on base and doesn't leave that fastball up in the zone where they can kill it?
Yeah, I think that's probably what he's doing is his
Well, then he
pitches at
needs
better
some Adderall.
location.
You know, he needs to focus.
Guy's only thrown 3 no-hitters in his career,
Yeah.
so it's not like he gets lit up all the time.
He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I'm over here telling him how to pitch. That's the great thing about being a baseball fan. And those of you that aren't, that's fine. Get by the First State Bank of Louise, open up a checking savings account. They're free. Pick up a gift. I recommend doing it for your kids. Get your kids in line. Let your kids understand the value of money so that when the government starts giving them a living wage, when they take that job and
Shove it?
and
I
they,
thought that's where you're going.
you know, they call Craig Lager and they get a job at Dairy Treat, and Craig's got to pay them $35 an hour to flip burgers. That's okay, because we'll still drive through and pay $87.50 for 2 burgers and 2 Cokes. That's what it's going to take, folks. People forget that the minimum wage was never meant to be a living wage. It was meant to be a bridge wage. It was
No,
meant
but
to
that's how they've changed the vernacular. of
Nobody
the-
should have to work 60 or you have to work 2 jobs. Why not? Get a roommate, share a flat, live at home, live in your mom's basement.
Well, they do that, but there's no jobs. They just live in their mom's basement forever. They don't go work.
It's just crazy. We live in such a handout society.
Yeah. Big story about I can't remember what city it was that I was reading. Fireman somewhere. Might have even been Houston. Having to work 2 jobs to make ends meet. Drives for DoorDash or something.
Maybe, maybe his ends are too big,
Well, there you go. Yeah.
you know?
I mean, I've met I've traveled around for work and stuff, and usually a lot of my Uber drivers used to be off-duty police and firemen. Not anymore, but why were they doing it? They wanted extra money.
That's right. If you're in a job where you make 50, 60 grand a year and you feel like you want to do more, I applaud you. You can live on 50 or 60 grand a year. You can't live like a king on 50 or 60 grand a year unless you're in
Well, and let's be honest, thanks to inflation, it has been tough.
Costa
Thanks to
Rica.
our stupid policies and so ridiculous spending that this country and every country's
Well,
doing.
there's the irony, though. The Democrats are causing the problem,
Well, at least,
But then-
at least exacerbating it.
but the people that are being exacerbated turn to the Democrats to solve their problem. We need a higher wage. No, you need lower taxes and lower food costs. But you know, the funny thing is they always use, I'm guilty of it as well. Right now, I would vote for a bill that raised all of our first responders' income by 10%. I'm all for it. They all deserve a 10% raise right now. I'll vote for it. I'll pay my extra taxes to that end, an extra $1 a week. I would pay it.
Why do they deserve it? Just
Well, but
somebody will ask that question, so I'm going to ask it for them.
Here's where I'm going. Because people that put themselves in harm's way to do things that you can't do deserve more respect. But I'll go this direction with you to bolster where you're going. If you choose to go into a profession that only pays 50 or 60 grand a year, then you're an educator. You went to school to be an educator. You planned to be an educator. Then you should plan to live on the means provided by being an educator. You knew what you were getting into. You can't go to school for a job that pays $55,000 a year and has proportionally for the last 50 years and then go, we deserve more money. No, not necessarily. I'm saying that first responders, who I do personally support, and school teachers, who I personally support, are always the poster child when there's really lots and lots of other jobs that they are what they are. If you're in the food service business, if you're in the, if you drive for white trash, it is what it is. Don't say, I don't know why I don't make 150 grand a year. Well, I do. I watched that deal yesterday.
Buy some trucks, take the risk, and start your own trucking company.
Go. And it doesn't mean that you're not being paid commensurate with the market. I watched a deal yesterday just because my ADD is really kicking this morning in a good way for me. I saw on the screen they're bragging at the U.S. Open. By the way, that Alcaraz dude, that kid can play some tennis.
He's pretty good, yeah.
He can play some tennis.
Looking forward to a Djokovic-Alcaraz final on Sunday.
Escape from Alcaraz. Good luck. But on the court, it says right there, 50 years of equal pay. You know what it ought to say? For 50 years, the men have been getting screwed. That's what it ought to say.
And it stems back to the aftermath of the Bobby Riggs, Billie Jean King made-for-TV spectacle that neither Riggs, who's no longer with us, or Billie Jean King will admit may not have played out the way, or the narrative may not have been the reality to how that was, right?
Right.
You had a 55-year-old, I think, wasn't he? Like 55?
Journeyman,
fat,
former tennis player.
Hadn't played tennis in a long time.
Played against Billie Jean King, basically.
Who was in her prime and had just won, I think, U.S. Open, right?
And was a great player and was America's darling.
no,
and
absolutely.
was very likable. And Riggs was painted as the bad guy.
It was wrestling with tennis rackets.
Absolutely.
Is basically what it was.
Exhibition tennis.
In the Astrodome, because at that time the Astrodome was being billed as the 8th greatest wonder of the world, right? Or the 8th wonder of the world. And they were putting spectacles. I mean, 90 million people around the globe tuned in on TV.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
To watch it.
It was like Elvis.
They had 70,000 people in the Astrodome to watch that.
Battle of the Sexes.
It's still the largest watched tennis event in history. But you only had 3 channels and didn't have anything else to watch that night.
Right.
But I think at the time, and my numbers might be off just a little bit, but the men's champion of the U.S. Open won $25,000. The women's won 10 or 15. And Billie Jean King said, if this keeps up, then you might not have the women show up at the U.S. Open next year. So the U.S. Open said, okay, fine, we'll give equal pay. And now the men's and women purses are the same, and they have been for 50 years. If you're watching
Which
the U.S.
means
Open,
the men are getting screwed because your money is coming from television. So if you've got $10 million to dole out and you go 5 to the men and 5 to the women, and the men are 75% of the television draw.
well, I don't know that it is in tennis, but
Somebody does.
somebody does. And the men aren't going to say anything because they'll be chastised for it.
That's why we do.
The men play a best of 5
Women play best of
every
3.
match. So it's not equal pay for equal work.
Not at all. Men play 5 sets. Women play 3. But here's the deal. If you flash forward and just please don't kid yourselves is the issue. And it's not a, oh, look at us. We're the dominant. We're the alpha. But Djokovic would beat Serena Williams in her prime in straight sets, and she'd be lucky to get a game.
When you watch it and a female player serves her first serve at 105 miles an hour.
Right, and a man does it at 140.
And they flash on that, and they point it out. That's the second serve of a male player. Most male players are serving at 120, 125 miles an hour on their first serve.
And it shouldn't even be a discussion, and it's not a bragging point. Who cares that a bigger, stronger person can beat a less strong, not weaker? Women can, I mean, Serena Williams was a beast. Yeah. Serena Williams beat me like a drum. But at the highest level.
With or without a tennis racket.
Right. Might not be a bad way to go, but at any rate, you can't play.
Does she tag in Venus off the ropes?
I mean, I hope not.
Comes in and drops an elbow on you?
Isn't Serena really cuter than Venus? I mean, yes, she is. I'm convinced that the Ryan Reynolds, the little soccer club that he bought,
yep,
like beat the snot out of the U.S. women's team, like 12-0, 12-1. They're the best women players on the planet, and he's got this ragtag bunch of knuckleheads that just dominated the U.S. national team. I don't know what I don't know. It just seems silly to me that I'm all about equal pay until you get into supply and demand. It's almost as if Major League Baseball says that for the 3rd season in a row, the Astros have led the league in merchandise sold. Well, that's a direct result of, guess what?
Winning
for the last 7 years, they've been winning.
Yep.
So they lead the league in merchandise sold. Major League Baseball doesn't think that's fair, so now the Astros have to, all merchandise money goes into a tip jar, and then they split it up evenly among all the programs.
Doesn't it?
No, not all of it.
No.
It doesn't belong that way.
No, but
it goes to some of it goes to the players in the MLPA.
Yeah, no, I mean proportionate, but no, I get what you're saying. It's absolutely.
There's got to be the country is now trying to demotivate. Is that a fair phrase? Fair. They're trying to. Everything's equal, and what's funny is if you're not careful, I'm making you think about something differently, and that's not right. You should be thinking this way all along. I reap the rewards of my effort. I mean, I read these two, you didn't build that. The roads were there for you. Yeah. That's Barack Obama said that from the Oval Office. It's a joke.
No, but that's what they try to do, right? They want you to stop using your brains
Right.
to understand what's going on and
Critical
rationalize
thinking.
it properly and think critically, and they want you
They
to
want you
have
be a
to be
robot.
dependent on the government.
Absolutely.
You didn't build that business. We built that business.
I will never be dependent upon the United States government. That doesn't mean the government can't benefit me. The words of Eddie Childs, it can defend
Medicaid.
our shores, balance the budget, and leave me the hell alone. Before we take a break, did you see where the federal judge decided that it was time for Governor Abbott's Bowie border to be taken down?
Yeah, let's talk about that on the other side of the break, because there's some things in there in that ruling, and it's a Reagan judge that needs some unpacking, in my opinion.
Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Allen is your go-to tow-to. Let Allen help you get from here to there or just upright on the side of the road. You need a tow, you need a jump. Ladies, put it in your phone. A Allen's, ALLANS, Allen's Wrecker Service. The reason I say that, you put 578-6300. When you need him, you're going to be a little frazzled. You've had a fender bender. Maybe an airbag went off. Maybe you're scared. Maybe you're alone. Maybe it's nighttime. You just hit contacts, and Allen's will be the first thing that pops up. 24/7, 365, Allen's Wrecker Service. The VCS companies, how do you get a hold of Allen's? On your new iPhone 15. Reach out to the Hartman Communication Empire, as the VCS companies are on Kerr Boulevard, just inside the loop off Main Street. Fantastic family, fantastic fare. Reach out to the VCS companies for all your communication needs. Chesnick Furniture, just 105 years in downtown Victoria. 116 West Wanland, Chesnick and Love, make your house a home. You just always do better at Chesnick.
Always do better
This
at
furniture. Heart, American Furniture, Chesnick. Veracruz, yesterday was called on Wednesday. Get
Today's
back in
post
today.
called on Wednesday. It's like post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, get in there and let Veracruz show you why we say it's the best Mexican food in town, period.
Period.
Yep.
So Governor Abbott yesterday, judge rules that the buoys must come down.
This, if you'll recall, it's big orange balls, got some razor wire, got some things. Basically, there's things there that say, don't come here. Don't come here. Like a fence.
Yeah.
1,000 feet long, 3 football fields long. Picture it.
How many thousand miles, how many hundreds of miles is the Rio Grande?
Forever.
And we're talking about a 1,000-foot section of the fence.
Which, by the way, the left says it's inhumane, it's un-American. They're killing babies. All they're doing is saying, hey, look, don't cross the river here. That's a bilingual buoy. It's just sitting right there. It doesn't matter if you speak English or Spanish or Honduran or Chinese or Indian or any of the other languages that have come across the border. It's directing you down to the bridge.
Yeah.
You want to request asylum, you can't do it in the middle of the Rio Grande. I can baptize you, but I can't give you asylum in the middle of the Rio Grande River. So go down to the bridge. It's multilingual. No, federal judge decides that Abbott is killing babies, essentially. Tells the state of Texas that we have to take that off of our border. Federal judge. I kind of wish Abbott would go, you know what, kiss my ass.
U.S. District Judge David Ezra. Well, he kind of did, because they quickly appealed the decision, but basically he had issues with the definition of temporary.
Well, if it's floating in the water, it's temporary. If he can go down and take it out, it's fairly temporary.
There's a few anchors and other things there.
He said he's interfering with a navigable waterway.
Well, there are a couple of things.
Barge coming through.
Yeah. Said he should have got federal approval because it falls under some act of 1899.
Isn't that scary?
Navigable Water Act
State
or
of
something.
Texas
Yeah.
needs federal approval.
I'd like to know who can navigate the Rio Grande River in that section, except for the folks coming across illegally to enter the U.S. It's not like we're the Mississippi River running river barges,
Right.
pushing all sorts of product and commerce being up and down the Rio Grande.
But
It
that's
doesn't
the
happen.
visual for people up north. That's what they think. Those crazy Texans are interrupting commerce. That's why our prices are so high.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it.
So flash forward or backward, I guess flash sideways, and tell me why. What did the mayor of New York say?
Well, let me go on because
Please do.
President Obrador of Mexico has also complained about it, right? And called Abbott's actions at the border inhumane. This is a guy, as president of Mexico, puts up with
The cartels
killing
killing people on the streets. That's not
kidnap
inhumane.
tourists, behead people in Mexico,
That's not inhumane. That's business.
steal women out of factories for sex slaves, and kill them when they're done with them. But Governor Abbott's inhumane.
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I don't get it. And I'm surprised that the president of Mexico, honestly, accepted the cartel tells him what to do.
Well, there you go.
Other than that, why isn't the president of Mexico all up in arms about Guatemalans, Hondurans, Chinese, Indians, Asians, just tromping through his country? They don't just litter on this side of the border. They litter on that side of the border. How can it be? These aren't Mexicans. We have no problem with Mexico. Mexican citizens are not the issue. It's the other 162 countries that just free-form stream across our border. Why is it the Mexican president upset about that? Because the cartel told him to shut up?
Probably. Because who's behind most of it? The
Cartel. What did the New York mayor say? I want to get to that because I think that's a great point.
Well, yeah, New York Mayor Eric Adams now saying that illegal immigration is going to be the end of New York City as you know it, as he speaks to New Yorkers about the problem in New York.
So there he is. He thinks he has a problem. The mayor of New York thinks he has a problem.
And he's a Democrat. Let's not forget that. But it's
But
not
they're a sanctuary city, aren't they? Weren't they inviting
I think
them?
they
Give
were,
me your
yeah,
huddled masses.
until they showed up, and now they don't want them there because
Yearning to be free.
Social services in New York that has a budget.
Canada.
I believe New York City, basically social services budget was blown through by like August of this year.
You know, it's worth the money I pay to be your partner on this program, to say things and just watch you kind of wince. I love it. I love that
There's no wincing
I
when
love
you
that I
do
can
your
look at
crappy
you.
version of O Canada.
I love it. You just your eye kind of twitches.
Well, it's all I can just to not right hook you.
Then the
When you
next
just-
the
when
next
you-
line, of course, is the stars are brightly shining.
No.
It is the night.
The leaves are the maple leaves are gently falling.
No, it's such a plagiarism of
It is the night
great. It is
of the
night.
great white north.
Unbelievable.
Come on, if you're gonna sing it right.
Tell me about
Don't conflate. Don't
give me-
conflate.
Can we have a
stars and
Wally
stripes.
update?
Yeah, doing well. Sleeping a lot still. Cochlear implant
think-
surgery.
Your dad's hooked on the painkillers, man.
He does good until he takes one. Then he
Right.
does. Then he has
Well,
to sleep.
you know, he's like, I don't know.
I think he's off him today.
Four
but, yeah,
Jamesons and an Oxycontin.
Not
I'm
much.
out.
Not much leakage. Not much from the surgery site.
Can he
so
hear?
he'll be good. I haven't been able to talk to him. He's sleeping all the time. Talk to my aunt,
Canadian.
though.
See, that's free medicine in Canada. That's what they do. They tell him they're going to fix his ear, but they really just give him an IV that keeps him asleep all the
So
time.
he doesn't know if it's
He
working
has
or
no
not.
idea.
Who knows what they did in there?
He has no idea.
But no, I appreciate you asking.
I
think he's
do.
doing well.
Wally's
Hope
a
to talk to him
fine
today.
gentleman. Great. He was obviously a great dad. I can't even imagine raising you three boys.
Why do you think Tina's no longer with us?
No. Didn't y'all have that one fat sister? No?
Just the three boys.
Snuffed her out early. But there's Brother Gary.
Yeah.
Brother Gary's got his whole life. Wrote my whole life down in a notebook. Look, he's got it all written down right there. Look, one little bitty. He used to write it all on a business card. It looked like hieroglyphics. Now he's got.
Now it's a yellow pad.
Yeah, it's a lot bigger now.
Yeah.
It's a lot
Well,
bigger.
you know, the eyesight's not what it used to
Yeah,
be.
yeah. No, he's
Brother used to get 30 days, sometimes 31, on a 5x6
Oh, he had it
note
all
card.
down.
And it was everything was there. And he knew. I mean, I remember we go back a few years in radio, and he would come in, and
But now it's every day.
I was expecting a folder, a foot thick with all the flyers of everything. No, he had notes on a 5x6 or maybe even a 4x3 back then, note card. And the writing was like 0.2.
So small.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Y'all, you've seen it at the museum.
Yeah, but now
Of the Coastal
at the
Bend.
Coastal
There's-
Bend
there's an
Museum, the
exhibit.
Brother Gary exhibit. But he's got so many events now because Brother Gary gets the deal every day.
Yeah.
Oh, Brother Gary, you have to come.
On the elevator right now, got one.
You've got to come,
Yeah.
Brother Gary. You've got to be here.
Before we bring the brother man in, he's standing in the
He
wings
is
in the
standing
green
right there.
room.
He looks sharp.
But I
by
did
the
want to
way.
get to, because we talked a little bit about it last week with Tucker Carlson saying, and kind of taking it to the conversation about Donald Trump to a place that nobody wants to talk about.
Yeah.
Right?
They said, well, first of all, you criticize it. Then you impeach it. Still didn't work. He got stronger, so you indict him. That hasn't worked. His popularity has soared because you made the man a martyr. We talked about this before it happened. If you decide to put Donald Trump on trial, you just make him a political martyr because even the left recognizes it's just politics. Now they're going to kill him. It's going to happen. They're going to assassinate Donald Trump.
And here's how the narrative is starting to shape up. And it started slowly. I've kind of been watching this. But in the last couple of days, there's been a lot more stories of influential people referring to Donald Trump as the cancer in the GOP or the cancer in this country, right?
What was that word a while back that we had that snippet where there were like 40 straight clips where the same media people said the same thing over and over?
Well, that's what we'll
It's
get
one of these things now. Everybody's starting to say, well, Donald Trump is a cancer on America.
and we must eradicate cancer.
Because that's
right?
what you do with cancer.
That's the analogy that they're making now. Because
Everybody
you can't,
hates cancer.
Everybody hates cancer, and you don't leave cancer around. You kill cancer, right?
So if I keep telling you that he's cancer enough and you finally start to believe, well, he is kind of cancerous. I mean, he is divisive in certain ways. He does mean tweets. Okay, I'll agree Donald Trump's cancer. Well, there's no good cancer. You've made it into Donald Trump is an oil spill. He's an oil spill. Baby ducks are trapped in his wake. Donald Trump,
it's worse than that.
he's worse than an oil spill. He's
cancer.
He's cancer.
I'm surprised
He's got to go.
They didn't want to just refer to him as an oil spill or
No.
a wildfire.
No. Or an arsonist. Donald Trump's an arsonist.
Yeah, but
Not
speaking
a
of-
big enough forest
Speaking of the fires, most of them have been set by people, by the way,
by leftists.
either purposely or accidentally. But
Yes.
people have caused most of them. It hasn't been natural causes in any way, shape,
Well,
or
it's
form.
natural. It's the idiot effect.
Yeah. But Donald Trump is now being referred to by the left as a cancer. And who's going to be held accountable when some leftist extremist Antifa idiot
Shoots him.
takes it a step further? Well, I'm just eradicating the cancer.
Yeah.
And does what Tucker Carlson says is inevitable, and that somebody's going to assassinate Donald Trump. Because as we pointed out on this show, the left will do anything they can
No doubt.
to retain power, and that includes eliminating their political opponents.
And I'm convinced
enemies.
100% if something like that were to happen to Joe Biden, Republicans and all Americans would be like shocked, ashamed, embarrassed. And I'm here to tell you with great certainty, I monitor a lot of social media. If Donald Trump was shot by somebody today, there are people in this country who think that guy was a champion. They would applaud the assailant. They would be thrilled at the outcome.
The same ones that said that the cancer that Donald Trump is needs to be eradicated would be celebrating that.
No doubt about it.
No.
I have no doubt about it. And that's a tragic time in our
Because
country.
and there's no way they could say that that's not what they were wanting, because they've called for it. They would be their hypocrisy would be on full display if they said, "Well, wow, that was shocked. That's not what we wanted." No, you called for the eradication of the cancer that is Donald Trump. There's no other way to take that. Sorry, folks. You can't just. And why this is ratcheting up now Because they're worried there's no way they're going to be able to get any of these
They know that
charges
he's
to
not
stick.
going to get stuck with this
And since he
insurrection
hasn't
business.
been charged with insurrection,
Right.
they can't keep him off the ballot, even though they've tried to use that constitutional argument, and that's been rebuffed and rebuked by most constitutionalists.
But those of you that are anywhere close to my age will recall that when we were growing up, we were always taught in school that like Abe Lincoln was revered and was a statesman and the world loved him. That's a lie. Half of this country hated Abe Lincoln's guts. And there were lots and lots of people who were, honestly, it was a different era. People still had duels, but there were people that were thrilled that Abe Lincoln was dead.
How'd they stir him up? The town crier. Abe Lincoln is a scourge on the earth. Eradicate that cancer.
Flash forward to John F. Kennedy. Now, history wants to tell us that John F. Kennedy was a beloved president. He had had the Bay of Pigs debacle. He had had a whole bunch of people that were upset about the way he handled the Russian missile crisis. You put us that close. I thought it was gallant. I thought it was brilliant. I was not quite one at the time, but I was very astute. But what I'm getting at
Bob
is
didn't like him.
history's lessons will show you that when the country's divided 50-50, good old assassination's okay to a lot of people. And that's a problem. Because I don't know what happens in this country among the conservatives if the woke, who is usually the weak woke, the meek woke, if they decide to lash out at Donald Trump in violence, I don't know what happens. I don't know. Well, you have civil unrest at a very high level.
Is that the Archduke Ferdinand moment?
Yes, it could be. It could be the domino that flips the whole deal.
Even though we've all learned that the assassination of the Archduke Ferdinand really wasn't what started World War I, but it seemed to be
But you look at these other countries.
sort of catalyst that started the chemical reaction, right?
Yes or no? Is Ukraine going on if Trump's in office?
No. And actually, Viktor Orban, who I think is from Hungary, was interviewed by Tucker Carlson and said, no, if Trump was in office, none of this would have even
Amen.
happened.
So here's my next question. If you're a globalist, if you're a foreign Eastern Bloc country, if you're Russia, if you're China, don't you kind of in the back of your mind go, be careful, because if we push on the U.S. too hard, we expose how weak Biden is, and all of a sudden we get Trump back. If something were to happen to Donald Trump, you might see our enemies go, Biden ain't going to do nothing. Let's go take Taiwan today. He doesn't have the guts to do anything. There you have it.
Well, and it's interesting too that some of these same folks. Well, the only reason we wouldn't be in a war is because Donald Trump's making money from Russia and Ukraine.
Stupid talk. The
Yeah,
one
no,
making
it
money is Joe Biden.
Yeah, no, that's their argument.
Crazy.
They've got to find a way to blame him for it.
Let me tell you somebody that's not making any money, Armor Air. They're just trying to help people. Helping people making friends. That's their whole mission. 5790966. You may have a dryer that's about to go out. You got a coil that's dirty. You've got
Condensers that aren't working.
There's a lot of things. Compressor. There's a lot of
That's what I
moving
meant,
parts.
compressors.
Yeah, condenser.
Whatever.
That's all fits or valves. It's gonna be some 30 weight, and let's move forward. Call Armor Air
Lube
today.
up
Let
those
them
ball
help
bearings.
you. It's all ball bearings. AJ's detailing. Let AJ come in. Brother Man's got a black vehicle. You know why? It's fourth generation mafia. Brother Gary should take that vehicle over there, let AJ buff it down, and put a.
He doesn't
Beautiful
have 30 minutes in a day.
He doesn't have 30 minutes to do it. What he could do is take it over there and have one of AJ's people drive him around. I'm surprised the Brother Man doesn't have a car that just drives him places.
If he was in New York, he'd be driving
He
one of those
would.
black
He'd be in a
Lincolns.
black car.
Yep.
The chopping block. Don't overcook it. Don't make it black.
Let them cook it for you in their trailer.
Fantastic.
Even better.
Today's probably meatloaf, or is today dino ribs?
No, Friday's usually beef rib day.
You cannot go wrong with the chopping
Stop by
block.
there today. They probably got at least 2 meats to choose from,
Yeah.
plus all the sides that are so awesome.
They've been so busy. They've also got, they've got the $13.99 Angus Prime, and they've got Wagyu.
Ribeyes, yeah.
But they've also got ribeyes on right now. They're calling Angus Plus. I don't know. It was like
If they're the ones that I got for Labor Day weekend, they were
$12.99 a
phenomenal.
pound is back to old school prices. Give them a try. If you don't like it, tell them. They'll They'll make it right.
Yeah,
Go
and
see
they
the
were,
chocolate
oh,
block.
man, they were so good.
On Navarro, just south of one of the closed-up car washes.
White Trash
Go by
Services, 550-1826. You have White Trash call for all your trash collection needs.
They come by yesterday for you?
Not yet. I think I have 2 more things I need to put in there.
There you go. What about your home?
Oh, yeah, they
trash?
came by. I thought you meant the dumpster. Yeah, no,
No.
I've got a roll-off sitting there. It's ready, almost ready to go. But, yeah, they came by and collected my trash.
You want to know
and-
how you know you're doing that too slow is when you go outside and all your clothes are in that dumpster. Cheryl's sitting out there in a lawn chair.
Climb in if you want them.
Right?
Oh, wait, here they come. You're going with them.
There you go. USA Concrete Coating, 578 Home. Let Charlie Garcia come out and transform that drab slab. He can seal the cracks, put down a tough as nails polyurethane coat that won't.
Peel, stick, cracker fade.
There you go.
It'll stick to the floor. It won't stick to your tires.
There you have it. And then Went Services for all your generator needs. The Went family has been here for 2 generations of electrical service. Whether you need emergency electrical, emergency plumbing, you need you're building a metal building, you need an electrician to come out and put all the panels in.
I don't know if it's one of their original service trucks or if they found like a 1970s Ford and redid it, but it's a
Right.
pretty cool looking truck
Oh, yeah.
that sits out front there.
They're great.
Yeah.
Went Services. Call Aaron. You can always reach Carl. Generator service turnkey.
Now you can always reach Aaron Carl's. Busy doing other things these days.
Carl's
He's built
fishing.
the business.
There you go. Let's get the brother man.
Yep,
in
come
here.
on, brother.
Give him a not crickets. No. Yes. Yes. Give him microphone 3.
And those headphones probably work now, brother. So
Brother, I
you
want to
try-
see if those headphones work.
Yeah,
You
give
put
'em a
those
shot.
on. Do they
We'll
work?
try.
Just see if those work. Is there, you got
You
volume?
got
in there?
anything in there, brother?
I got some.
All right,
You
there you
do?
go.
You got it in one ear?
One ear.
It's hard to complain.
Better
That's
than no ears.
It's better than no.
We'll take it.
Speaking of having one ear, that's Ash's dad. Got that going on. How are you, sir?
I'm good, sir. It's been a fast week. There's so
wanna-
much going on. No.
There's
Y'all
no
stay
need.
right there. You're
Oh, there's
looking
no
good
need.
in your shirt. Yeah.
That you like that. You like that. It's not really UT, but it's got little Texas on.
Close.
It's Burlebo. It's
I
nice.
like
You can
it.
order online.
You boys looking sharp always.
Thank you. Thank you.
And always a pleasure to be with y'all.
Well, we love you.
Good stuff going on. So much. I mean, it's really busy. Of course, you're back in football season. Schools are back in session, and everybody wants a fall event.
Yes,
So it's
sir.
Big time. Well, let me just get a couple of events here before we go to the games. Ashes, he did better than us. We didn't do too good, but we'll go
No,
over that in
no,
a
that's
second.
okay though.
It's all right.
We had the winners.
The
We
teams,
just-
the teams won.
Yeah.
Both teams won. All right. Well, you've got the Warriors Weekend Freedom Ride Saturday down at Velocity Power Sports, and they're taking off at 11 o'clock. Register before that, about 10.
I talked to Daryl Smith the other day, and Daryl was excited that Ash had mentioned that, and also it's $20,
Correct.
and you get in there, you meet at Velocity, and then we're gonna do the Freedom Rides. Very nice. That's when
Yes.
is that? This Saturday.
This Saturday.
That's gonna be very nice.
And then they'll end up at Wellhead Tavern.
And what time are they meeting?
They're 11. They take off by all have to be gone by 11.
At Velocity?
Starting at 10 o'clock, they'll start registering.
So they're gonna meet at 10 o'clock, and then they're gonna go drink. Love it. It's very, very Texan.
the afternoon for the auction over there at Wellhead Tavern.
There you go.
And you got, you all know, we all had the young lady in with us. Keep Victoria Beautiful Fall Sweep Cleanup is
Yep,
this
Saturday.
Saturday also, 7:30, 9:30, Target parking lot. Good luck with that. And they've got a bunch of good people. And one other one, Brew at the Zoo. I'm emceeing that one. That is Saturday night. Fundraiser for the Texas Zoo. Brew at the Zoo.
Can you imagine the brother man gets
Is this
up?
not Wild About Wine? Is this
No,
something else?
This is something else.
Okay.
The wine one's later.
Okay.
When the brother man gets a little
It's a
older and gets
spring.
up, and it's Brew at the Zoo, and he like a little dementia tells him that it's a Kinsey.
Yeah.
Mr. and Mrs. Gutierrez, it's great to see you here. How are you? How's your lovely daughter? Where is she? Where's her gown?
Brew.
Some guy's walking around with a ferret on his head because it's at the zoo.
Right. We got that this Saturday. And, of course, next week they'll start doing some wonderful events for the University of Eastern Victoria 50-year celebration this year. And I was the first students, one of the first group of students at UHV when it opened up in 73.
Wow. Tell me
We go
this.
back.
What's the spread on the Aggies and Miami game?
All right, here we go.
4
You
points.
Who's the favorite?
Texas A&M.
ready? Texas A&M's a favorite.
I think
A&M?
A&M wins and covers that spread.
I think A&M is going to be better than
Yeah.
most people gave credit
A&M's
for.
going to win and cover that spread. You got
51.
51's the over?
I don't know about that. Miami.
I don't know. Ash, I'm going to see what Ash says. on
Ash,
that
what
one.
do you got?
Well,
We're 2
just,
and 2.
just,
We're
to,
on
He
just
wants
to
to
refresh,
reiterate since he finally won one.
We're 0-4, Ash. We already know that.
I didn't have Texas covering, and I took the under.
So
last week. But A&M, we didn't. We all went didn't cover and under.
yeah,
And we were wrong on the. They did
we
cover.
were wrong on everything.
No, they did cover, and they had the over.
we said
so.
over Texas and beat the spread. What they did.
Historically, if you wanted to bet on Texas, you bet Texas to win, and you bet the under. That was historical. You know, like saying you always take a 7-point dog at home. Same type thing.
Well,
Here's-
we bet with our hearts.
Just
We
pure
were picking with our hearts.
observations, and I don't bet for money because
No,
I never
the
win.
fun of it.
But
I never win. I'm like the
That's
curse.
what I say. It's a waste of money.
But
You'd be wasting your money.
A&M's on the road in a 4-point spread. I'm taking Miami.
I tell you what. You know what? It's going to be close, Brent. We want to make those boys feel good.
Now, you're taking Miami in the points?
And
or
the
you think,
points.
Or you think they may lose 38-30? You know,
So
38
I'm taking Miami to win. I think 4 points is, to me, that's pretty much a draw in football.
And they're home.
And
Miami's
they're
home.
So I'll give them home field advantage, worth a little bit.
Well, I can tell
Miami
you that-
wins.
Among
I
two
think
coaches,
he's got some reasoning.
Coach Cristobal really wants to win. You can bet on that. Miami really wants to win this game.
Yeah, and they're home, and it could be close. I'm thinking it's going to be real close.
I think the Aggies win the game.
Okay, you got the Aggies.
Yeah, I
Are
got
they going
the
to cover
Aggies.
the 4 points?
Yes.
Yep, I'm going Aggies too. We can't go against them.
Yeah.
We can't go against. We want them to win, get off to a good start. So
Sure.
Aggies, Ash is 2-2. We're 0-4.
Oh, I know.
We got to make up something.
How big a favorite is Texas on the road at Alabama?
They're not. Alabama's 7-point favorite.
7-point favorite. They were 7.5, went down to 7, and it's 54 the over and under.
So what does that mean? If it was 7.5,
They
and
were
went down to
taking-
7, people were betting on
Yeah,
Texas.
people were betting on Texas, so they had to
Texas.
move the. They had
Well,
to
that's
move
just
it. That's-
arrogant
yeah.
Texans betting with their hearts.
That's what. What did we? Who do we pick?
So
With our
BC will
hearts?
take Texas because he's a homer and
I
bets
think
with his
I
heart.
got to take Texas.
I'm
to win
taking
the game.
Texas,
Yeah, I think
too.
Texas wins this
We're
game.
probably 0-8 after this.
I'm
you
taking
know?
Alabama to win, so and I think they'll cover.
See, Ash is
He's just
raging.
such a
He's
killjoy.
tough, man. Yeah. Well, no, he's right. He probably picked it. He did better
Washington
than us.
State sucks. Washington State
It's
sucks.
not going to lie.
Alabama.
Actually, looked pretty
We're
good.
taking
Now, do we take
Texas.
the over on that?
No, I
50
think
what's-
it's
how
under.
many points?
54.
No, I'll take the under. That
Under.
SEC defense.
Yeah, because Alabama and Texas showed their defense pretty good last week.
Yeah.
Alabama's got a good defense.
So
under.
the key is
I'll take
here's-
the under. But I mean, it's 54 points. That's a 27-27 ball game. That's not. Nah, I'm going
Yeah.
over.
We're going. What do you? I think it's
Alabama
gonna be-
covers and it goes over.
Okay, we're going under. What do you think?
I'll take the under.
All right.
Because we those overs.
You guys got Texas to cover or to win?
We have
Win.
Texas
I have
to
Texas
cover.
to cover.
Okay,
Cover.
but not to win.
Well,
Well, they,
we
yeah,
want them to
and
win. We're picking
They'll
them to
win.
win.
Texas will win the game.
Okay,
Texas
because
will
if they win, they. Well, I mean, if they win, they cover.
Ewers
Yeah.
has got to have
What
a
do you-
coming out party. If you're a 5-star player, and which by the way, I've not seen that out of the kid yet. If you're a true 5-star player that lives up to the hype,
So
the Quinn Ewers has got to come
he's
out
got
this
to
week.
come through. Well, they laid
And
on
they've
him
got to
last year.
contain that Milrow kid. The quarterback for Alabama is
You
explosive.
see how they
athletic.
laid on him last year too? They took him out. Ash,
And
you
I'm
got
not sure.
Texas,
I think Alabama's interior line is.
you got Alabama to win outright.
Yeah.
More than
Texas
7.
would have beat them last year.
Alabama
if Ewers
wins
hadn't
and
gotten
covers.
hurt.
Covers.
Yeah. And
All right.
and,
Don't you
and they
agree?
go over. Huh?
All
That's
right.
not a homer comment. Texas had them on the ropes until Ewers got hurt.
We had him on the ropes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Saban's
All right,
good
let me
at
give you a
halftime
little
adjustment.
baseball.
Satan.
You ready? Texas Rangers. Their record since August 15th, 4-15.
Yeah. Oh, they're terrible.
You said they were going to kind of go down.
I
No, I
we're
think
gonna
B.
hold it.
Small said they were going to go down.
Oh, is that B small too?
Yeah.
All right, well, they were 6.5 games up at one point.
yeah.
Now, I hate to see
It's
that.
not
I
quite the
want
Phillies
Rangers.
blowing that 13-game lead
No,
back in
no.
the day, but
I want the Rangers to make it. I want them all to make. Both of them to get in there. That's
I don't
fun
think
for
they
them.
will. I think 2 will come out of the West and 2 will come out of the East.
Probably so. But that's what I want to tell you. It's
Okay,
4-15.
NFL. Cowboys. NFL season kicks off tonight. Chiefs and Lions.
Correct.
I think the Chiefs will win at
I'm
home.
taking Chiefs.
Should be a good game, though.
Should
I
be
think
a
the
good
Lions are going to be vastly improved.
Yeah, I think they're going to be better. But let's look to Sunday night. Cowboys, Giants
in New York.
in New York. Cowboys are 3.5-point favorites.
I'm going boys all the way to win and cover.
there
Brent,
you go.
we're-
There you go. What are
we're
you going to do with that?
I'll take the Cowboys.
And
What are you going to do with that, Ash?
we're
What
covered.
are you going to do? You going
Well,
to take the
what you gonna-
Cowboys?
you
I'm
take-
taking the Cowboys.
Okay. If they win, they cover. That's the way I look
That's
at
right.
it. Texans Ravens at noon on Sunday in Baltimore. Baltimore huge favorites. Baltimore wins.
9.5.
Wow.
Baltimore wins. They cover.
Yeah, I think so.
Brent? I don't know. 9.5 is a lot of points.
9.5 is a lot of points. I'll take the dog in that one.
I'm going to take the Texans, too. I thought about this before it came in. I said Texans.
You taking the Texans
Yeah,
to cover?
no.
Or Texans to win?
No, to cover
Okay.
with the 9.5.
Trying to see if I can find this for y'all.
We're taking the Texans to cover.
Let me play this for you.
All
This-
right.
Hi, this is Bill Brown of the Houston Astros. In these dog days of summer, there are two things you can count on. The Rangers will fade, and Brent will call you back. Go Astros.
There you go. I had that.
I remember hearing that.
Our close personal friend and Astros Hall, a close personal friend.
I remember hearing that.
Yeah, we had him ring that up for my voice message on my cell phone, and I put it on unashamedly. I put it on with confidence, and now you have seen it as the Astros now have the Rangers 3 back.
Right.
After a shellacking of epic, you're going to see
I can't believe how
the
they beat 'em.
crowds just stay away in droves from Globe Life Park. The Rangers have pooped the proverbial crib. It is over. They're
Well,
done.
Still just one game up on Seattle.
That's it. And
Yeah, Seattle's
lost column.
tough.
What are they? Rangers are but 2 games back in the lost column to Houston?
Right.
Okay.
3 games
But-
back now.
3
yeah.
games back, though.
But
altogether.
the Mariners at some point are going to wake up and go, hey, you know what? We're the Mariners. We've never, ever been to a World Series. It's not going to
Well,
happen for them.
They're pretty good.
Baltimore is going to win the American League. Tampa Bay will likely get one of the wild card
Yeah,
spots.
oh, they're up there. They're
Seattle's got a 1.5 game lead on Toronto. Toronto's got a half game lead on Texas, and Boston and the Yankees are sneaking around and
yeah,
hanging
they
in.
beat us 3 times, didn't they?
Yes, and that really helped them. They've continued to win. I think they
Boston,
won-
the Yankees. Boston's 5 games out of that final wild
They're
card
not
spot.
gonna
The
make it.
Yankees 6.5 out of that final wild card. I don't think they have enough time to get.
Not enough time.
What
not
are the
enough
Yankees
games.
over their last 10? 7-3?
8-2, and they've won 5
8-2.
in a row.
Yeah, they
Won
woke
5
up.
in a row.
They woke
Yeah.
up.
Boston's lost 2, and they're 3-7.
Yeah.
I think they're both not going to make it.
We have a home. We have a
Toronto
home
or
series with the
Texas?
Orioles coming up.
Toronto or Texas, one of those two. Not going to
Yeah.
make it. I'm pulling. Astros going to make it, but
Oh yeah, Astros are in.
Astros have today off, and then they begin a weekend series at home against the fledgling Padres.
Yeah,
is
the
this the
Padres
best
are
time of the year?
terrible.
Is
Best
this
time
the
of the
best time of the year?
You gotta
Football
win.
starting-
You gotta win every game this series.
You
this
got to beat the
weekend.
Padres every week.
You
And
got to
it-
beat.
And then
every
you got
game.
the A's coming in to follow. I mean,
which
this
should
is
be
this
a
might-
week off as
if
well.
you take care of business, these next 6 to 7 games, you've got a chance to really separate yourself from the pack.
They
at
need
the
to go
top.
5
beat
and 2.
somebody yesterday, didn't they? One of
Yeah.
the top teams. They just.
Astros need to go 5-2.
5-2.
They need to go 5-2 over the next 7.
Oh, man, I'm hoping the Astros keep it. Oh, one other thing. Bailey Zappi, Patriot picked up another quarterback. Matt Corral from Mississippi was with Carolina. They cut him, and now he's on. They've got 3 quarterbacks. They list Zappi and that Malik boy and Corral from Carolina. They
Are
cut.
all on? They're all on the practice squad.
Right, they're on the practice squad. They're going to bring a couple of them up.
Yeah, that just
For the
tells me they
weekend.
don't have a clue what they're going to do.
They
for
don't know.
quarterback.
That's what I'm
Belichick's
thinking.
trying to find the
just-
next one.
He picked up Corral.
Are you
yesterday.
thinking it's not Mac Jones?
No, he said
Is
Mac
that what
Jones
it
is in.
is?
No, I know he's their starter,
in.
but I just don't
He's
think
in.
they believe he's reliable enough
you go.
to get it
That's
done.
why they're hoping one of
He's
these
trying to
other
find
boys-
his next Tom Brady.
Well, he said, and they Patriot head
Good
coach,
luck.
he said that Zappi was really a good kid, and he said he's learning. And I think he's going to come around. That's what he
Good
said.
luck.
There's
finding
our
the
there's
next
our
Tom
music,
Brady.
brother.
Folks,
Time.
we're
They're
at the
telling
top
us
of the
we
hour.
got to go.
Love you, folks. Have a great day. We'll see you
y'all
manana.
manana.
Have a great one.
Bye,
Thank you,
folks.
guys.
Thank-
I've been locked up for driving 120 through town.